Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to use conditional formatting to highlight any cell where we need to order more inventory. So for instance, these top two cells here where we have order, we want it to show in a different color. So the first step is to highlight the area where you want to apply the conditional formatting. So it's underneath stock level. So I'm going to start at cell H12 and hold my mouse down. We're going to highlight starting at H12 all the way down to the end, which would be cell H66. So this whole area here, we want to highlight that first. Next, we want to click on the Home tab, go over to Conditional Formatting, highlight Cell Rules, and move down to Text that contains. Left click there, and what we're looking for, so within this range, we're looking to color in any of these cells that have the word order. So we need to type that in. O-R-D-E-R. Click OK. And what's happened here is that we have a pinkish color applied to all the cells where we need to order more inventory. Good example of conditional formatting. Next, what we want to do is apply some more conditional formatting. And we want to use conditional formatting in this area having to do with quantity and stock. So we're going to highlight starting in cell A12 all the way down to cell A66. So for this quantity and stock, we've highlighted that entire column. We're going to come over to conditional formatting. In this case, we're going to use data bars. And I'm going to use a gradient fill. And we'll use this first one, blue. Now, applying this type of conditional formatting, specifically using this idea of data bars, what we've done is we've given the viewer really a visual cue in terms of the value of each cell relative to all the cells within a range. Okay, next we're going to use the find and replace feature. Comes in quite handy from time to time when you need to find some text or a number and then replace that text or number with another value. Okay, how you use that find and replace, you need to be on the Home tab, come way over to the right where it says find and select, hit your down arrow, highlight replace. You would type in here paper envelope. That's what we're trying to find. Okay, it's in this area right here. So what we're trying to find is paper envelope, and what we want to replace that instance with, anything that says paper envelope, we want to replace that with foil packet. So we're going to type that in right over here. Click on replace all. You get a dialog box which tells us that there will be 19 replacements. Click OK. and then close out your box by clicking on Close. Once again, you can see the foil packet has replaced the word paper envelope. The next function that we're going to use is called the Now function. It's basically a date stamp function, which will give you today's date and also the time. So we're going to move down. We're going to place it right here in cell A68. We're going to type in now. That's the function that we're using. Hit the tab, and in fact, we're going to place our function right here in cell B68. How we get the now function is by clicking on the F of X button. Search for what function. We're going to type in now, N-O-W. Click on Go. Now is now highlighted. Click on OK. There are no arguments. There's nothing that we have to add to this function. So we're going to hit OK again. We're going to widen our column to get rid of these pound signs. And after doing that, it will give us today's date and also the time. What we want to do next is look at the freeze panes command. Okay? Now, like in looking at the data right here, I'm going to highlight just this area here. Down to this point here. This would be commonly known as a table. Okay? Key elements to a table is that the top row to a table always contains headers, or in database talk, they're referred to as field names. And those field names, in turn, describe the rows beneath the headers or field names. Each row is commonly referred to as a record. So this row right here would be our field names or our header row. Now if you go down to the end here, you're unable to see your field names or header row. That would be a problem if you have to be putting in a formula down in one of the lower areas, because you're not quite sure what these numbers would stand for. What you need to do is you need to be able to see at all times your field names or header row. And how you do that, given that this row right here is your field names, the easiest way to do that is to click in a cell directly beneath your field names. Click on the View tab, come over to Freeze Panes, hit that lower arrow, and highlight Freeze Panes. What happens is that you have now a line coming across here, and as you scroll down, even to the end here, you can still see your field names. But it's a very, very important command. If you need to get rid of the freeze panes, you come up to View tab, Freeze Panes, and then unfreeze your panes. There are times when you might want to have not only the top row frozen, but maybe also the leftmost column, or the first column. What you would do there is position your cursor so it's directly beneath the top row of field names, and it's to the right of that first column. So let's see what's going to happen here. My cursor is in cell B12, View tab, Freeze Panes, click on Freeze Panes. What's happened here is that we have now a line coming down here. It's freezing that first column and also our field names or header row. Next, we're going to prepare this document for printing. Okay, what we're going to do first off, we're going to go to the Page Layout tab, go over to Margins, change those margins to narrow, Orientation, Landscape. I want to look at Print Preview, see what our document would look like if it were printed now. So hold down Control and tap F2 function key, page 1, page 2. However, what we notice here is that our headers are not showing, or field names. You'd always want this to be showing right here, your headers or field names, when it's printed. How I fix that is by clicking on Page Layout, come over to Print Titles, click on Print Titles, rows to repeat at top would be this row right here. Click on row 11, it's now appearing here. That's always going to be repeated. Click on OK, and now hit Control F2. And our information is now showing properly. However, there seems to be too little information showing on this page. A way to correct that, click on Home, then come way over here to the right, above the taskbar, and click on Page Break Preview. Click on it, hit OK, and you can see what your document would look like if it were printed right now. Page 1, page 2, and then this dotted line is showing us for that third page. What you're able to do is to take your mouse, hover over it, you have a two-way arrow, hold down the left mouse and drag to this point. Now our document should only be 2 pages. Go back to Print Preview by Control F2, and our document is now in fact showing 2 pages. Thank you.